Brian Jardine with us from the North Pocono Baseball Team, and Brian, it's been tough for everybody, and some schools are in different situations. Some have 3 inches, some have 30 inches, some have even a little bit more snow on their field, and you guys are kind of in a tough spot. A lot of gym.
Yeah, right now it's a matter of it's not like we're behind everybody. Everyone else sort of in the same boat, but we're hitting that point in the season now where I think it's going to start to change, and we want to get on a field. You don't want to sort of just be thrown out there day one, first time on a field. We've done that before too, and if that's the case, you find ways to make it work. I have a great staff with me. Look at the guy like Coach Tempesta, 40-some years doing it, so we come up with the drills and the activities and different competitions best we can, just so that it's not the same monotony day after day of whatever you have, but it is difficult. So the game wasn't meant to be played indoors, at least in a gym, So it makes it difficult. But my kids have been great thus far. They're staying focused, even though the situations are less than ideal.
Let's talk about the talent you graduated, and boy, you had a lot of nice leadership last year, and what that transition is to 2017.
Yeah, we lose 10 seniors from last year's team. A couple of those kids, JP Walsh right now actually is seeing a lot of time at Monmouth as a freshman in center field. Matty Fish getting some innings as a catcher at Keystone. I've been in touch with those guys, and they're doing very well. A lot of other great players we lose off the team, some glue guys like a Mark Cicerini and a Sean Haddock and a Josh Mashura. So it's never easy when you lose kids like that, especially kids who've been through the program and really had a successful run. So that makes it tough losing. But in the same token, and a couple of these guys are going to talk to later, I have 3 seniors back in Pat Noon, Pat Kravitz, and Gary Wolozian, who did a great job, and really their game really improved, especially as the year went on. And they'll be our leaders this year. And then along with them, a couple other letter winners are back from last year. Tony Donado, who really did a great job in the role he was asked to perform in. Mike Kowalski, another kid who was more of a utility guy last year, going to look at a little different role. Cory Wall, another junior who, again, he was more of a closer. We used him as last year. He's going to probably start a little more. And then Ryan Dion, who had an outstanding freshman season. Statistically, it's going to be tough for him to duplicate that. But he was very solid last year, and these guys also realize, it's their turn now. We built a little bit of something up in North Pocono, some tradition, and now, it's their turn to be the guy. They want to be the next Joey Runco, Billy Nelson, right on down the line. They realize it's their turn now, so I'm excited the way they're handling things.
If you have to take the positives in being in the gym, what are you going to say? Listen, we're going to be really good at this.
I think defensively, I hope, and that's the one thing we saw last year. I have pitchers who throw strikes, whether it be Ryan, Corey, Tony, Nate McClain this year should play a larger role. So those guys, they throw the ball to the plate, which means when it's put in play, you have to catch it, and that's something we've been very good at. And if you look at the kids coming back, we're going to be strong up the middle with Ryan and Pat manning the middle infield. Johnny Sapienza is a young guy who can catch the ball very well. That'll play a little second base when Ryan's throwing, and then Pat Noon in center field. So we'll be strong there, and you sort of work from that point. We'll be athletic in a lot of other spots, which is good, but it's one thing we pride ourselves in. We talk about free 90s, which are basically giving up, the other team not earning those 90 feet, whether it be at first base or moving up a base to second or third. So we try to eliminate those. It's one of our goals that we have as a team, to eliminate those in a ball game, and defensively, I think we can handle that, and from there, then it's a matter of finding a way to score a run or two, and offensively, I think we'll be okay as well.
How about the league? Boy, there's some great coaches, and a lot of respect. All the coaches have for each other. It's tough going in game out against some of these guys.
Yeah, you're going to compete day in and day out. Now we split up the divisions a little, where we're with Wallen-Paulpack and Abington Heights, and we'll see them a couple of times. And I played with both Todd in college and Billy for years. Billy Zaleski and I have played summer league teams together. We work camps together, so you know what you're getting into. You're not going to steal anything from anybody, and that goes right down the line. Del Val with Coach Peters right on down the line. There's a lot of great coaches within the league, and then the players that we're producing right now. That's the one thing that really stands out to me. It seems like over the over the winter, every time I picked up the paper, we had another kid who was committing to a Division I school. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's 10 Division I kids in our 9-team league alone. You know, and that's not counting Division II players. So those are scholarship money kids, all within this little league that we have here. So that means day in, day out, you're going to see somebody on the mound or somebody at the plate that is going to be just a very difficult out or a very difficult guy to face and try to score some runs off. So it's very competitive league, and I wouldn't want it any other way. You know, I think that helps us tremendously when we get into district and state level, and we saw that last year. And I even try to gear my non-league up that way. Wednesday we're going to Northampton to play a team down in the East Penn Conference, and those are good schools there. And Bishop McDevitt out of Harrisburg, who's usually a state qualifier, District 3. You know, we try to build our schedule. I had Pocono Mountain East, another team. Matt Loringer does a great job up there. They have a kid going to Coastal Carolina next year. So, we set them up that way on purpose. We want to play the best teams available and see what we have. We'll go out and do everything we possibly can to the best of our ability. And at the end of the day, if the scoreboard agrees, great. And there's going to be sometimes it just doesn't, things we can't control. And, we'll learn from it and move on to the next game.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you coming out here to Arcaro Genell's Takeaway Kitchen.
All right, thank you, John. I always appreciate what you do for our kids.
All right, North Pocono Baseball, Ryan Diem with us. He's just a sophomore. Ryan, you really burst on the scene last year as a freshman. Talk a little bit about being with those guys and what you learned, because there was a lot of leadership last year. What you learned from those guys that you can now carry into your sophomore season.
Oh, of course. Last year we had 10 seniors that graduated, and it all started in December, morning lifting, showing hard work. It all started there. Throughout the season, they just had my back. We had a great outfield, great defense. On and off the field, they were my friends, and they taught me a lot just to keep on working hard. And now I could be a leader this year.
What did you work on in your game? Did it make you hungrier, getting that little taste of varsity and really put in a strong off season?
Yeah, I knew that I was going to get a chance, and it just, all the letters fell where they should, and I just really did what I needed to do. And the seniors had my back, and once I got on a hot streak, I just kept on rolling with it. And I had a really great season last year. Unfortunate that we lost the state semifinals, but I think that's driving us this year because we have a chip on our shoulder. We tasted the goal, now we just need to go and get it.
Talk about Coach Jardine and his influence on you. Good coach, good coaching staff, some experience there. What's it like to play for him and his coaching staff?
Him along with Coach Tempesta, there's a lot of baseball wisdom there. Coach Tempesta's been coaching 49 years. He always has something to say. Jardine's really smart too. He's a nice guy. He's comfortable with all of us. And, basically that.
How about the 100 pitch count this year? How much of a factor do you think that'll play?
I don't think that'll play much of a factor for me because I'm not more of a power guy. I'm more of a contact and ground ball guy. So I hope it doesn't affect me that much, but you never know.
How about some players you see early, and you guys are stuck in that darn gym?
Yeah.
How about some players you see so far that you think will have a successful season for your team?
I'd really like to mention Pat Kravitz. He's a senior this year. He'll be playing shortstop. We've been buds forever. He's a crazy dude. In the mornings, he's always energetic. He always drives us. It's always baseball, baseball, baseball. And I think he's going to really have a breakout season as a senior.
What's the support you get from your family? Tell us a little bit about the people rooting you on.
Yeah. Well, my family's a great support. I play travel ball throughout the summer. They take me all over the country, get better. My dad, certainly. We've been playing catch in the front yard for forever. I think some of my curveball came from him, so yeah.
Nice to see, and a lot of work to do, and we wish you the best this season. Continue for you here at North Pocono.
Thank you.
Cory Wall with us from the North Pocono Trojans. Cory, let's talk about your role last year and how much has it changed going into 2017 here.
Right, my role last year was to come in after our starting pitcher and close out the game, and my role changed this year. I'm looking to start this year and just do well. 100
pitch count, does that play at all a factor in your mind right now? Because everybody's facing the same thing.
I don't think so. I mean, I usually don't throw too many pitches. Usually just come in to finish it out. But we'll just have to see what happens.
How about the hitters this year? After graduating so much talent, hard to see the best hitters in the gym. But what are you seeing and hearing so far off the bats?
Off the bat, it sounds good. I mean, we lost a lot of talent last year, obviously, but we have a lot of good kids that come up from JV. Like we got Nate McClain who's coming up. He's doing really well. I think we'll have a good hitting year this year.
How about some of the other pitchers that you think will help round out your staff this year? Who are some other arms on the team?
Definitely Ryan Diem. I mean, he came in clutch last year in many of games, and Nate McClain's coming up. He's throwing really hard, and that's all we got.
Coaching staff, let's talk a little bit about them.
Coach Jardine, he's always been there. I mean, I had him in the classroom in my sophomore year. He's a really reliable guy, and I always go to him if I need help or anything.
As far as the catching position this year, obviously that was something you did last year. You expect to be in that role a little bit again this season?
Not as much as the past 2 years. Freshman year, I caught strictly catching, but then we needed pitching last year, and that's where I started to pitch, and I don't think I'll be doing much catching this year.
Talk about who you think some of the catchers will be. Is there one guy, or you have a few?
Definitely Jake Mastillo. He's coming up from JV last year. He looks really good. His arm looks great, and his bat looks really good as well.
With graduating all that talent, one of your teammates said, hey, we're still really hungry, but being hungry and being young and not getting on a field, whereas maybe there's a couple teams that are on a field. How do you think that'll play out once the season gets moving?
Right. I mean, since we went big last year, everyone's just kind of laid back, but our team, we're not. We're ready to go. We're hungry. We want to win. We want to get out there.
Talk about the people that get out to watch you at a game and support you.
Right, the fans, like last year when we were in the state playoffs, we had 2 full buses of kids coming from our school. That just feels really good. Our community's definitely helping us out.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in 2017 season.
Thank you.
Tony Donado joins us from the North Pocono Trojans baseball team. Tony, popular name, and of course you hope to have a nice season this year. Let's talk a little bit about what you bring to your team on the baseball diamond.
I'm there just to throw strikes, get our team through the next inning. I mean, last year I had the position to come in through after the starter and get us to the closer, to be able to get the closer in and end up winning the game. And I feel like this year I'm going to be able to do the same thing, come in, no matter what the situation is, just be able to throw strikes for our team.
What did you learn from your seniors last year? Because now a lot of you guys have to step up in leadership roles. So talk about what that group meant to this team, and then now you guys have to close that chapter, move on to a new chapter. But what did you take from those guys?
I took from them the passion they have for the game and just how much they want to play every day and come in and show. And no errors. You can't mess up. You have to try your best all the time. And the passion they play with, I mean, that's something I use to take with me. Just play with as much passion as I can.
As far as your bat, let's talk a little bit about that. Something that you feel pretty confident about, or something that's kind of still a work in progress, being that, hey, we're in the gym. I don't know how good my bat is right now.
Yeah, well, through the travel season this year, I felt like I had a pretty good bat and be able to run the bases pretty well. But we'll see how that plays out this year if I play in the field at all. But I feel pretty confident with my bat.
Throw a couple names out there for the Trojans this year saying, hey, man, nobody ever heard of this kid, but you're going to hear about him this year.
Definitely Nate McClain, Ben Cruciani coming up. They played on varsity last year for a bit, traveled a few games with us, and I can tell you they have some bats and some arms on them this year. They definitely help us out a lot.
You think the pitching will be strong this year for the Trojans?
Oh yeah, definitely. Three out of our 5 pitchers from last year coming back, plus a few more additions as in Nate McClain and Ben Cruciani coming up this year. They'll help us out a lot, definitely. I think we'll have a really strong pitching staff for them.
Well, Tony, we wish you the very best this season. We appreciate you coming out here to Arcaro Genell's Takeaway Kitchen. Mike Kowalski from the North Pocono Trojans baseball team. And Mike, boy, what a football season you had this year. Let's go back, reflect a little bit, and a special group of guys, a special coaching staff, and you really had a great year. And a lot of people may not know who you are because there's so many big names, but I got to see you play a few times. Talk a little bit about how special it was for you.
Well, football season, had a blast, and definitely with winning, it's even more fun, especially with the group of guys we had. A couple big seniors we'll be losing. Definitely enjoyed playing, strapping on the pads with them. And hopefully we had some success baseball last year, football this year. Hopefully we can continue that right through.
Talk about what you do to stay busy in the winter.
Yeah, well, lifting, running, basketball as well. Play some basketball. Try to do all we can. Working out. There's baseball morning workouts. Coach has us from December working, trying to get ready for the season. Try to keep that success going.
Let's talk about your skill set in baseball. what you're pretty good at, and then what are you still really saying, okay, I got to get better at this?
I try to provide. I mean, I was a base runner, definitely through the freshman and sophomore years. Played here and there wherever guys were down. Didn't really start a ton of games, but definitely when guys were hurt, came in, and I definitely seem to my role is going to jump up a little bit this year, hopefully, and definitely trying to provide a spark.
How about your speed? Is that something you think you could utilize?
Definitely going to try to implement that on the bases and the outfield, wherever we can, and that's with a lot of guys this year. Speed seems to be common motif.
Saw the toughness in football. How do you bring toughness to baseball?
Baseball, not as clear cut with the toughness of actually tackling and hitting guys, but definitely with the mentality, whether it be pitchers just going at guys as a hitter, looking to attack early in the account, but whatever it is, just bring that mentality to the baseball field as well. Yeah.
Experience with the baseball team last year and how that's going to carry over into this season. What do you think?
Well, a lot of seniors last year left a good example for a lot of these younger guys, and myself included, and really looking forward to replicating that success. Hopefully make another run even farther, because we still lost our last game of the season, and that's not exactly where we were thrilled to be, but definitely a good year.
Coach says he thinks you're going to be an offensive spark. Talk about your ability to be offensive spark. Is that getting hit by a pitch, a walk, hitting singles, getting some doubles, using your speed a little bit? Take us through what you foresee.
Any way possible. Something Coach stresses is something called a QAB, he calls it, the quality at bat. Any way to get on base, provide a little spark, like you said, whether it be moving runners, knocking guys in, whatever way possible. I try to do a little bit of everything.
How about your family? Talk about them getting out and supporting you.
Definitely. My dad, my mom, my brother, three-sport athlete as well. My dad and mom, always at the games. Can't thank them enough. Whether it be taking me to and from practice, especially early on as a kid, really encouraging me to play and do as much as I can. Great example that they set for me as well.
How about the good fortune of having some good coaches there at North Pocono as well?
Absolutely. Coach Dolan, the football season you talked about, basketball season, Coach Ferguson's been doing a good job with us. Coach Jardine's been great all my years with the high school program, especially success that he brought to the program is unprecedented, and really great mentors.
Well, we wish you the best this season. Go get them, and we'll see what the Trojans are all about in 2017.
All right. Thank you.